shit ever. Like, you cannot do anything. I literally got like one side of my weights racked at the gym because I tried to work out, and they're calling me over the intercom to come get him literally after 5 minutes. Because he don't want to be with anybody but me. Because I'm the only person with him. But you literally just can't do anything. I'm literally so exhausted from work, like 90% of the time. So I don't ever get to do like a good, like real workout. And I got up trying to do a workout this evening, and he don't even want to go to the kids club. This is like the third time I've tried to take him. He does not like to be with strangers. So it just makes it hard because I can't do anything. The only time I have help is when I'm working. But I can't ever do anything for myself. And the other parent just gets to do whatever they want. Literally whatever. You can go hang out with your friends. You can work out. You can complain about how tired you are. But really, like, look at my life. Like, look what I have to do every single day. I hate even complaining about this because my mom helps me a lot. And I have a nanny for my son twice a week. But that's while I'm working. I'm working 24/7. As an entrepreneur, my brain is in work mode 24/7. And I only have physical help while I'm working. And so it just makes it difficult whenever I need to do things for myself. Like, my nails are down to the nubs. My toes are a whole different story. Because it's like, when do I have the time? Where's the time to go and do that? Like, I don't have anybody to keep him for me to go sit and get my nails done for an hour. I join a gym with childcare, and he doesn't want to go to the childcare because he doesn't like strangers. I can't do work from home because if I look down for 2 seconds, he's climbed up on my kitchen island. And then you got to deal with the other party complaining that you're not being nice to them. And cleaning, just cleaning all day, every day. That's literally my life. I needed to let that cry out. It's been a little minute since I've cried. I feel like I've just been so numb to all emotion that I just haven't cried. So that did make me feel a little bit better, but it's been rough recently, and he does not want anybody but me. Which I love. My mama heart loves it. But my Caitlin heart, myself, wishes that he could be okay with the childcare so that I could get a workout in. My son is 17 months old, and this has by far been the hardest stage of all of it. Hi, baby. The sweetest, but definitely the hardest. And I'm acquiring a lot of mental strength throughout this, but sometimes you just have a little breakdown. Yeah, it's a lot. We're gonna figure it out. This is embarrassing. I'll probably
Now, I've talked about this on my platform a lot of times. If you scroll down, you'll see videos about it. But this is exactly why I can't do motherhood. In this day and age where you're not guaranteed a solid partner to stick around throughout the journey, it's not a risk I'm willing to take. I previously stated in another video that marriage will not save you from single motherhood, and I'm going to expand on that thought a little bit. What I didn't say in that video is marriage does not make you immune to life's problems, and that's what a lot of people are not understanding. Nobody likes to talk about it and say it, but your spouse can pass away. Yes, you would be considered a widower or a widow, but that would make you a single parent. Your partner can become chronically ill. That's a real possibility in life. My mom always told me, never have more kids than you can handle taking care of by yourself. And now I understand why. Because at any moment, it doesn't matter if you're married or not, life can put you in a situation where you have to take care of a kid by yourself. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take at any point.
All of my single moms, I just need to know, are you guys okay? Like, At what point does it stop being terrifying? That you have someone else's entire livelihood in your hands. I've been having some just really hard days. Were you guys keeping it together?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I'm a child-free woman. I don't have a child. I know that my mental state would not be able to handle another child. I'll probably watch that child cry. I'll probably have that child taken away from me. I would have the urge to put a pillow on them. I know it's horrible, but I won't have the mental capacity for a child. I am not mentally strong for a child. The nagging, the crying, I don't know what's going on. And I have to figure out what's going on. So I feel like by the time I feel like I need to be mentally ready. I need to put my mind in a state where I'm fully okay, like fully okay. I'm fully functional to probably, I don't know if that can happen, but I need to be fully in my right state of mind to have a child. I would never really want to put it where I'm annoyed by my child, where I'm irritated, where I get easily angry, and then I have this thing crying nonstop and needs my constant attention. That's the thing. A child will need you consistently. You need to be available consistently. I never really understood why people would have children when you know your mental state, you know yourself. That is, unless you have a child, unless hoping that you can solve your mental state by having a child, you hope that by being a mother that would help you. No, it will only amplify your problems that actually you're not dealing with it. A child is not a pet. A child is not something that you play with when you're bored or when you're going through something. You decide, oh, well, let me have a child. That does not work like that. That is not life. That is not really the ideal situation of nursing a child or raising a child. A child needs you. They need you to be functional. They would absorb literally just about everything around you. They will literally absorb it. You would never really have time for anything, especially the first 3 years. The first 3 years are hectic. So you're going to be constantly on need where this thing needs your constant nurturing. At least the first 3 years are hectic. And then it becomes like the first 2 years. The first 2 years is something else. Like another like 18 years. 18 years. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. When we don't know what's going to happen with them because you'll forever be a parent. You'll never stop being a parent. It's too much of a commitment. It's too permanent. It's too much. Okay? I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I really don't have the mental capacity to do that. So big up to all the mothers who are raising children and doing the best that they can. I can't do that. I cannot.
So, as a child-free woman, have y'all ever wondered why women have such contempt and have such negative feelings towards women who don't want children? So, I know on the surface level, we know that a lot of times it's jealousy and it's envy for a lot of these parents. But I kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the, I guess, psychology behind the jealousy and the envy. Why that manifests, right? So, generally speaking, most women, the average woman wants a husband and kids. Until they get that, they are envying or revering women who have it. So then once they get it, they think other women who don't have it envies them and reveres them as some kind of high status level, right? So you get it, and now you feel like I have arrived, if you will. I have reached the holy grail. I'm one of the big people, right? I made it. And they walk around with that sense of pride and ego until they come across a chick like me, or girlies like you guys, child-free women. And once they find out that no, we don't want their life, their whole world implodes, right? It's like a shock to their system. They're like, wait a minute, what? Because when we say we don't want children and we list the reasons why we don't want them, what we end up doing is forcing them to reevaluate their own choice. Their entire life's idea blows up in their face in seconds, in that instance, right there in that conversation. And people don't like self-reflection. People don't like feeling like they made the wrong choice or that they did the wrong thing. So they fight back. And one of the ways that manifests is by coming at us with the rude, snide remarks. A lot of times they'll start out nice until we give them our reasons and why we have these reasons for these reasons and all that. Now it's, well, aren't you afraid you're going to regret your decision later? What is the purpose of your life? Are you a real woman? No man is going to want you if you don't want to have kids, right? You're going to unalive with your cats. You're going to be old and alone, right? They come with all of these really snide, nasty comments because a lot of them don't even realize they're doing it, in my opinion, because they don't realize that you just rocked their world. I don't want what you have. Because before that, they thought the women that didn't have that wanted what they have, just like they wanted what the women had before they got it. It's it's earth-shattering to these women. They don't get it. They don't understand how you could not want what they want. So they get to thinking about, dang, did I have this choice? Could I have made this choice? No, kids are a blessing. Life isn't worth living without kids or a husband. Oh my God. So they rationalize. And sometimes they'll rationalize with you. Other times they'll rationalize in their own mind while they're like cooking or doing laundry or something, right? And every time they come across more child-free women who say, we would rather unalive than to have kids. We would rather jump off a cliff and land in an ocean of sharks and get eaten alive than to push around strollers and put car seats in the back of my car every time I go somewhere. If I'm just going to Target to buy tissue, like I would rather be unalived, right? They come with, oh, you're never going to know true love. You know, they say all this stuff. They rationalize in their own minds. So it is a bit of anger and jealousy and envy, but a lot of it is that we force them to question their own existence. We force them to question all of their decisions that led up to where they are in their lives. Even if some of them are miserable deep down with their kids and their husband and they're living life on autopilot, you're still supposed to be jealous of them because on paper, they have it all together. They have the white picket fence. They have the 2.5 kids or the 4 kids, whatever. They have the husband. They have the lifestyle. They have the money. They have whatever it is. They have that and you're supposed to want it. How dare you be out here living your best life, not aspiring to something that I've aspired to my whole entire life until they got it. That's where it comes from. So as I get older, I don't take offense to it anymore. I understand that there's a difference between parents mothers who actually enjoy motherhood and the ones who don't. And the quickest way to tell the ones who are secretly miserable and the ones who are actually happy is all in the way they respond to you. When you tell them that not only do you not want kids, you're never having them. I got my tubes tied. I got my eggs burnt. I got my uterus taken out, whatever, right? Until they realize that you absolutely are not going to have kids, their reaction to you says everything about their mental state. They'll come in comment sections and say all sorts of stuff like, you're going to miss out on the joys of motherhood and womanhood, and you're not going to do this, and you're not going to be fulfilled, and all that stuff. It's all a cope. because they don't understand why you don't want what they have, even if they don't even want what they have now, right? Because they realize motherhood is not what it was cracked up to be or whatever, even if that's the case. So I don't take offense to it. The ones who give you negative, snide remarks are the ones who are miserable. They're miserable in their motherhood. And the ones who are happy in their motherhood, they support child-free women, flat out. It's no other nicer way to put it. They're like, hey, to each his own. Do you, boo-boo. Live your life. If you know you don't want kids, it ain't for everybody. Don't let nobody change your mind. That's their attitude. The miserable ones got something negative to say. That's the quickest way you can tell the difference between the two. So don't take offense to it. Just understand that people are not happy with where they are in their lives, and they regret a lot of their decisions, and they're mad when they look up and see women living their best lives without making the sacrifices that they had to make.
I feel like sometimes you live a certain life for so long that you're not aware that there's a way of life that people live that you're not even exposed to yet. So you find yourself trapped in this circle or in this cycle of people who think like you, react like you. There's really no way these people think differently than you. They would be the one to even advise you, and you would agree because your thought patterns are the same. So you find yourself locked with those type of people in that type of environment, behaving, reacting, thinking, living that same life. And then you come into contact for some reason, out of the blue, you come into contact with someone like me who's like, hey, I love myself more than I could ever love a man. Boom, mind blown. What do you mean? And then I drop another bombshell. You know what? I mean that I love myself so much so that I know I don't have the mental capacity to have a child. So I don't want to have children. I'd rather spend my money on me doing the things that I really want to do. Another drop shell of bombshell. They really would think automatically that you think that you are better. But I am better. Better than you on your state of thinking. So yeah, I am better in that case. So they don't think to realize that you can be better just like I am on this level, you know. And I think in the past, women were not given a choice. This is why women would be neglecting their kids and abandoning them because they really did not want children. The society, the environment forced them to be what they are. So they become the parents that they are, abusive, toxic parents, parents who just do not understand. They just have kids because they were told to have kids. They don't know anything else, you know. So outgrowing that thinking state, you know, your thinking capacity comes with your bone structure as well. It comes with you. You pass on that belief system. As you age, that belief becomes stronger as your bone. It becomes, if I tell you as a 90 woman, 80-year or 90 woman, that actually I don't want kids, you'll be like, yeah, no, that's not possible. Go have kids. Because that's what you know. You don't know anything else. So it's imperative for people to evolve. If you don't evolve, you'll remain stagnant to that prison that you are in, basically.
So I get this comment a lot from parents. They're like, oh, well, you know, there are pros and cons to having kids and not having kids. And while I can think of a million cons to having kids, child-free women typically don't see any cons, and there's no cons to being child-free. If you are a diehard, radical child-free woman, I promise you, there are no cons to being child-free. There's nothing. And the things that you guys think would be cons typically are not cons to us. For an example, the one that we get the most is, who are you going to have to take care of you when you're older? As somebody who worked in healthcare for almost 20 years, the loneliest people in nursing homes are parents. So a lot of times y'all F around and find out, but you think you're going to have your kids there in old age. A lot of times, many of you won't. So because I know that, I would never see that as a con. Do you get what I'm saying? That's something that people have an illusion about. Another thing that I get is, no man is going to take me seriously because every man wants to spread his seed or leave a lineage or a legacy or whatever. That's not a con to me either, because any man that wants children is automatically disqualified.
he's automatically not the man for me. So you can't miss out on somebody that's not meant for you. We want two totally different things in life, right? He would automatically not be the man of my dreams because he has kids. It doesn't matter how many other qualities he has that are great, right? So what cons? I'm very curious to know what cons do parents think child-free women experience? Because like I said, I've had over 30 years to think about this. And in the 30 years, 3 decades that I've had to think of this, I can't think of one con. So somebody please enlighten me to what these cons are. So based on your comment, you're kind of insinuating that only people who don't have kids will get chronically ill. All the people who have kids, none of them ever get cancer or myocarditis or heart failure or multiple sclerosis or Alzheimer's, right? People who have kids don't ever get chronically ill. That's kind of like what your comment is saying, which is stupid, to say the least, right? Getting chronically ill as you get older is a human thing. That's just something that happens to most humans based on our lifestyle, our genetic predispositions, the food that we eat, the pollution in the air, the chemicals that we ingest or that we breathe in and all that stuff, right? You're typically going to have some kind of chronic illness as you get older, regardless to if you have kids or not. As a matter of fact, people with kids have more stress on their bodies, which makes them more susceptible to chronic illnesses because you're stressed all the time. You're stressed to the max most of the time. So if I'm going to think about somebody who's stressed all the time, yes, your immune system and defenses are down because you're stressed, and it invites in so many other issues. And then when you're child free and you're not stressed about money or where you're going to live, or you're not stressed about food, or you're not stressed about the gas prices, like I'm not really stressed about any of these things, right? If I end up with some chronic illness, it's most likely going to be because of the food that I'm eating that I think is healthy, but it turns out it's not. Or the predisposition to cancer, which I thought was in my genes, but when I got the BRCA testing, I found out it wasn't. Even though many people in my family died from cancer, but I realized it was their lifestyle, right? Had nothing to do with genetics, apparently, right? Just using that as an example. So your comment is very uneducated. And like I say all the time, I would much rather regret not having kids than regret having them. Even though I know I'm never going to regret not having kids. That's never going to happen. That's just like saying one day you're going to regret not being a Japanese woman. Like, no. I can honestly say that's never going to happen.